Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest and a friend of the show. This basketball head started her career dominating the Catholic school scene before being named 1989 Gatorade's Player of the Year, making her the first female to do so in New York City. After being heavily recruited, she decided to attend Arizona State University. While at Arizona State, this basketball head suffered a few injuries that would set her back. Being the determined woman she is, she began to rehab and train smarter to get back to playing the game that she loves. When things didn't go as planned, she reverted back to plan A, education, and got her doctorate degree. While receiving her doctorate, this basketball head got her mind and her body right as she started to play professional football in the Professional Women's Football League. How ill is that? And she also boxed in the Golden Gloves. Now she runs her own physical therapist business called Mind Over Body Athletics. Help me welcome to the show, New York City legend and 1989 Gatorade Player of the Year, Dr. Laura Miele. And she's also an author.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped out into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online. Buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
What's up, Laura? What's going on?
What's happening?
Oh man, this is awesome. I'm glad to get you back on the show. Do this the right way, And I'm glad I got to change up the intro a little bit because I got to say Dr. Laura Miele.
Well, it's good to be back, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you've been part of the show before. You know how this goes. Who introduced you to the game, Laura?
Well, watching the Knicks, watching the New York Knicks back in the day, watching St. John's University. Nobody specifically introduced me to it. I guess my dad used to coach CYO, and he coached my brother. And I think just watching players all around me, watching my dad coach, I decided to, pick up a ball and start dribbling around a little bit. And that was it. And just pretty much just watching the game my whole life. It's all around you in New York, especially growing up in Queens.
Yeah, and watching your brothers, usually girls stand aside. You actually wanted to get involved, right?
That's right.
You played with a lot of New York City greats. Let's just say that.
I did. It's funny because I feel like I'm repeating myself since we had this interview again. So I'm trying to make sure that I remember a lot of the stuff we discussed, and I want to make sure that I do bring everything to the forefront and not feel like, sometimes I'm like, did I just repeat myself?
No, it's all good.
But yeah, I did. I mean, I had the opportunity to play with a lot of different street ball legends, Conrad McRae, McNasty, Conrad and he was my boy. Robert Phelps, I played with Lloyd Daniels back in the day. Lloyd was the bomb. I mean, I played in those Pro-Am tournaments, and Lloyd was lighting it up from half court. He was lit up, and he was lighting it up.
Right.
He no matter what he was doing and into, he was still hooping. So it was just Jamal Faulkner, I got to play with. So there's a lot of guys just all over Brooklyn, Queens, the city, that I got to play with. I used to play a lot in 118th and Lenox Ave. 113th, 136 and Malcolm X Boulevard. I don't remember the name of the park.
Okay,
Of
okay.
course, I played at Rucker before too. I played in the cage in the village because
Right.
I had to make sure I could. So
Listen, the cage can be a little how can I say intimidating because it's so small and you don't realize how exciting the game can become once you're playing. So it's a difference when you're watching because you think, it'll be too small for you to maneuver. But once the game starts moving, trust me, I've been out there with 7-footers and guys that were huge, and we still got to play.
that's right. But have you ever played in the basement of Riverside Church? I think,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think once you play in the basement,
You shoot
oh,
too high, it's
yeah.
gonna hit the ceiling. Definitely,
you know,
definitely.
I think if you played in the basement of Riverside Church, that cage don't seem too small.
Right, right, right.
But no, I
Wow.
agree. I mean, there's a lot of energy at that park. So if you could go there and play and the guys pick you up, it's a pretty big deal. So I'm
Yes.
privileged. I had the opportunity to do a lot of that different stuff in the city when I was out there.
What part of the city are you from?
I'm from Queens, Elmhurst, Queens.
Nice, nice, nice. And from there, you took off and went to Christ the King.
That's
Like,
right.
look, I had Deborah Mortley on a while back, and she was just talking about how you guys used to just pummel them like year after year after year until they got their weight up. And in all due respect, she was like, those girls can compete. But when we got in a level, it just felt good to finally reach that level because you guys just kept going after that. You know.
Oh yeah.
Um, how
Yeah,
was
I
your
think,
time there?
well, I believe that with a few other gals with me, I was a pioneer, because the Christ the King that we all see, we with the Sue Bird and oh God, Charles, I can't remember her last name, and then Shamika Holzclaw, and the big time
Yes.
players that came after me subsequently, you know, um, they changed the game a little bit. They did elevate it. I mean, we did also because we didn't lose a league game in like God 30 years. We didn't lose a game. When I played, we just got to be number one in the country, so it was a big deal. We took the state championship when I played. There was Margaret McEwen before me and Jill Cook, and they were the two All Americans who were there before me. And I remember just wanting to emulate them and be like them because I didn't even know you can get a basketball scholarship when I played.
Wow.
Most of the girls at Christ the King were on scholarship, and they were invited to play, and I wasn't. I was going to go out. My brother and sister went to St. Francis Prep, and I didn't really want to go there. I didn't even
Right.
know if I could make the team at Christ the King. I was intimidated, thinking, I don't know if I could, make the team. So I went and I tried out, and I made it. And then I saw these girls who were these all American basketball players. I didn't know anything about a scholarship. I just wanted the ball. It didn't
Right.
matter, you know. And when I first played, the funny thing about it is, as a freshman, I was still growing and I was getting beat out a little bit, and I didn't like that so much. So I'd go home and I'd shovel the snow and the ice in the yard, and I'd go out there and practice. And then sometimes my dad would come out. He's like, "You're not taking your layups right. And you're not, you need to be tough." He'd like throw me into the garage and like, "You need to get tough." And I was like, "All right." So yeah, Crazy King was crazy. Back then, Vinny Cannizaro was our coach.
Okay.
And I mean, the bench would be 15 large. There was not a girl on the bench that could not come in and just score.
Mm.
So you really had to work for your spot. It wasn't, one of those teams where there was a set five and then there were some girls on the bench and then only the five stayed in. Anything, if you did something wrong, you're coming out and someone's going to come in and play maybe not exactly at your level, but can still hold their own.
Wow. Do you remember who you guys beat in the city championship, that state championship year?
Oh yeah, St. Peter's. I, that year I hit a buzzer shot in the state championship in the semifinal. I was actually a junior, and I was ranked number 7 in the state. And yeah, it was one of those games where, man, I couldn't hit the ocean. I could not. I had a ton of assists, but it didn't matter. I threw the ball up and it didn't make a difference. I was not hitting that hoop. I don't know how many points I had in that game, maybe 6 or 8, I don't know. And there was a freshman. She was Darlene Starr. I'll never forget. She was coming down, and it was like seconds left on the clock, and it's overtime. Well, actually, it was overtime, and it was 42, maybe 40 or 42. I don't know. It was somewhere in the 40s, and she came down and she looked to shoot, and I'm like, I want the ball. You know, I was always a pressure cooker, and I was like, I want the ball. So I'm like, ball, give me the ball. And it's the only game that I have of me playing in high school or college. The only in video with two.
Wow.
Yeah, only. Yeah. So I'm like, give me the ball. Like, whoa, you know, you know, it's like a 10-footer from, you know, right on the ends of the, what do you call it? Where I can't even think right now. I'm so tired. But I'm sorry. I've been editing my book all day. No joke. All day I got the first edit back, and my brain is mush right now, so I apologize. But anyway,
It's all good. It's
so
all
as
good.
soon as I released it, the buzzer went off. But I knew, and I just said, please go in, you know, just like, and it went in, and we went nuts, and we won. It was so awesome. It was so
But
fun.
listen, that goes to show what kind of mindset that you have and what kind of drive you have. Because even when shots wasn't going for you, you still wanted the ball. You
Oh,
still wanted
yeah.
to be that person to decide whether y'all going to win or lose. And
Oh,
that's a lot
yeah.
of pressure to put on yourself.
You know, I don't know if you think about it as pressure at the time of the game. I mean, my end line, like I have a signature line that I still use now for my emails are on the line shooting two, down by one, no time left on the clock. You know, that's just the way I've always operated. I've always been a pressure cooker, you know. And the funny thing is, before the games, I'm nervous just like anybody else. When it comes down to it, I want the ball,
Right.
you know. And it's funny because in the book that I'm writing, one of the guys, Terrence Wheeler, he played ball with me at ASU, and
Yes.
he played overseas in Venezuela and all different places. And he was like, he called me L. He's like, yo, L, no matter what, at the end of the game, we knew if we needed to get the ball up to get it to somebody, we knew to get it to you because you were a pressure cooker. You always wanted that ball in your hand. You were tenacious. And it's funny because now when I play in my men's leagues, I don't care. Like, I want to make the shot, but I'd rather be the person to make the shot. I don't know why. I think I've tried to subdue that, um, just that competitiveness, just because I hadn't played ball for so long that I had to simmer it down. If not, I was going to go cuckoo.
Listen, hold on. Because did y'all hear what she said? She said she was playing in the men's league. She wasn't just playing with, some other women. She's playing in the men's league. All right? So let's back it up. Let's back it up a little bit so we can get the story lined up with what you're doing right now. Because once you left
Keep losing you.
uh,
There we go.
once you left high school, you chose to go to Arizona State.
Correct.
Right? Now, do you remember the schools that were recruiting you besides Arizona State?
Oh yeah. Well, I really wanted to play for UCLA, but back in the day, all the California schools were getting the girls were getting recruited by by their own. California is such a big state, but
Yep.
I would say most of the Big East. I can't think of too many schools now from the Big East. Maybe Georgetown.
Right.
Uh, I remember Duke, Wake
Mm.
Forest. God, Auburn, not Auburn, Clemson, Texas A&M, UTEP. I mean, New Mexico. I just all over it was all over the place.
Right.
Wisconsin. It was all over the country. And
Wow.
I know that when I went to Arizona with Riverside Church my junior year, and I saw that campus and all those palm trees at Arizona State, I just I just fell in love with it. Now I came home and I told my parents I had Arizona State boxers on. I had tank top. I think back in the day we didn't have any money, And I swear to you, I must have spent whatever money my parents gave me to eat for the week on those clothes because I wanted the tank top and the boxer shorts so bad, I mean,
They
back
didn't take
then,
care of you down there? They didn't give you
woo!
no gear, nothing, nothing? They give you anything?
No, this is before I was getting. This is when I first saw Arizona State.
Oh,
They didn't
okay. When
even
you
know
went
I
down to
was.
Riverside. Got you.
I went down with Riverside, and
Got
back then
you.
we didn't have any.
Got you.
Actually, a few of the girls got arrested for. I don't get into that, but out in Scottsdale, it's funny. But I didn't even know I wanted to go to Arizona State. When they heard my coach told them that I was interested, and that was it. You know what I mean? Because the head coach had left. She was originally at Oklahoma, and they were recruiting me big time in Oklahoma. And my father's like, "What are you going to do, a Queens girl in Oklahoma?" So I was like, all right, you're right. But then when I saw Arizona State, I was hooked. I was like, West Coast, the sun's going to shine all year. Look at these palm trees. So that was that.
Wow.
Oh,
Pat's
and
in the building.
Providence. I was sorry.
Okay.
It was in between, my picks were in between Providence versus Arizona State. And my reasons for staying in the Big East probably wouldn't have been advantageous for me for as it was to go west, you know what I mean? So I made a choice. I can't try to stay because of somebody I was, talking to at the time who was going to Syracuse versus, me going to Arizona State. So
Right.
that's how that went. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Pat Alfonso, what's up? He said that was the BCI championship. Was at Arizona State.
Who said that?
Pat Alphonse.
Yeah, it was BCIs. Yeah, we always go down. I think 2 summers we went to the BCIs down in Arizona. I think everybody had gone, right? Did you guys? I don't know if the guys all went. I know they went to BCI, but I don't know if they went to Arizona.
Oh, okay. Well, Pat knows where all the tournaments was
Hey,
at. He still
Pat.
remembers. So you got to accomplish all that you wanted at Christ the King, correct?
Correct.
And now you're going to go to Arizona State.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. That time there. We can make it as long as you want, as how brief as you want.
Well, it's brief.
You already know how.
It's brief.
I feel a way about Arizona State now. I'm going to keep it 100. I feel a way now, but go ahead.
It was brief. I went out there and they had, we were considered the Fab Five. It was a really big recruiting class that came in, some really awesome players, and I was 6 men off the bench, and no sooner than that I got injured. Right before Pac-10s in about 1990, right? Probably I would say right after Christmas. We had played a couple of games. We played against Washington State, and then I hurt my back. And that was that for that season. Came back my sophomore year, was playing again, made it right before Pac-10s, hurt my back again. I mean, I don't think it ever really healed, obviously. And then the doctors back then, they were like, well, you know what? You don't you want to carry a baby? This is what they said to me. Don't you want to carry a baby? You're not going to be able to, if you ever want to get pregnant, how are you going to play? You can't even feel, because I lost feeling in my left leg and I had what they call a drop foot. So after I ball, my leg would drag and it was scary. I was scared. I was, 20 years old, 19 years old. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? So I went to doctors in New York. I came home. I had all these tests done. I've had needles. I can't even tell you the size of like a ruler in my back. I can't tell you how many. And I saw that laugh, and it was bad, and nothing would make it better. So the doctor wouldn't clear me. So my coach pushed to keep me going, and she was like, "Look, I don't care if you can practice. I want you to play in the Pac-10s. So I don't care if you practice once a week. I want you to play." So when I just heard this recently because I hadn't talked to her for 30 years, and when I went to Arizona, I want to sit down and have like a heart-to-heart with her.
Yes.
Because losing after everything I'd done in New York and all the aspirations I had, I wanted to be in the 1992 Olympics, and I had all these aspirations. She had aspirations for me, and then I was injured, so I was devastated. And I came and had a heart to heart with her, and she was like, I kept pushing for you to play, but your father called me up, and I guess my dad must have threatened her or something and said, I don't know what happened on that phone call. But I think, the doctor's telling my dad, this is your daughter, she's not gonna be able to have babies and stuff like that,
Wow.
which now that would never happen now. I mean, that's just so, that was in the early 90s.
You wouldn't tell your patients that.
No, never. Well, I wouldn't do that. If they came to me and said something like, make sure you just get your opinions. But I'm not a medical doctor. I have a PhD. So, but
Right.
if someone came to me and told me that someone said that to them, I was like, well, you better check it out. But I did, to my defense, I got a ton of different opinions. And I was waiting for that one doctor to say, you got it. But even though I kept pushing through it, the doctors wouldn't clear me. They put me on a medical. They gave me a medical scholarship. So I got to stay on scholarship, which was nice, but I didn't get the ball. And it was rough, because I love ball. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I did so many things after that. These doctors were wrong.
Like, where did your toughness come from?
I don't know. My dad's a pretty tough guy. I grew up, I'm Italian Puerto Rican, so my dad is, tough Italian cop, and my mom was born in Puerto Rico, and she's just this traditional, Hispanic mom. And so I think she never got me when it came to my sports, but my dad did, and my dad's just tough, and I think I got it from him. My mom's
Yeah,
tough
because
in her
when you
own
came
way.
home,
Don't get me
he
wrong.
jacked you up. He jacked you up and threw you into that
Oh
garage.
yeah, yeah. And my mom would like yell at him, but my mom's tough too in her own way. Like my mom's the kind
Gotcha.
of woman you don't want to mess with either. But my dad was more like, growing up, it was like you come home and say, Dad, when I was a little girl, this girl said this or did that. And he'd say, well, did you punch her in the face? And I'm like, no. He's like, then don't come home and complain about it unless you did something about it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the way I was raised. So, he's that stuff. So I was like, that was frowned upon now. Back then it wasn't. You take it to the
Right, right.
streets. What do you
That's right.
say? Boom. And then, and then you're going to get pizza like 2 minutes later.
That's right. That's right. And forget about it, right?
Yeah,
Listen,
exactly.
being the Gatorade Player of the Year, I know you had a target on you, right? People's
Yep.
like, there she go, Miss New York, there she go. And you get in the court, people want to challenge you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. More the guys, because there wasn't that many girls back then.
Yeah, but listen, whatever the case, I knew there was some girls and some tough competition back then for some people that wanted to challenge you.
Yeah, I played against like Rhonda Singleton. I don't know where she is now. Marcy Cornegie. Me and Marcy played on Riverside together. Rhonda didn't. I don't know if Rhonda ever tried out. But those girls, there was another girl, Letitia. I can't remember her last name. But we go toe to toe. We actually would play against each other in like the one-on-one tournaments, stuff like that. But yeah, people would. A lot of the girls would. But what's funny is they talk stuff. And then once we played together, they saw that, I could play ball. So that everybody kind of just chilled. It would be, oh yeah, let's see what she's got until they played with me. And then it was different. A lot of people, I heard the criticism when in '89 when I became the Gatorade Player of the Year. I was the #1 player in the state, and for the city and the state. And girls like, oh, she didn't deserve it, she whatever. But all those girls who said they didn't deserve it, I didn't see them getting Division I scholarships either.
Talk that talk, Laura. Talk that talk. That's
I'm just
right.
saying. So
Hey, it is what it is. Now, who was that? Do you remember that person who asked you had to put a spanking to let them know, listen, I'm the #1 in the state, and you see
I'm
he's
not
up.
gonna say any names.
Is it in the book? If it's in a book, just tell them it's in a book, right? Tell them it's in a book.
It's not in the book. Actually, my publisher wanted me to pull some of the stories out of the book, unfortunately. Even some of the people that I interviewed and things that I interviewed have been kind of getting edited out of,
Wow.
Because, the book, I guess the direction they want the book, like the book's mine, but you still have a publisher, you still have editors. and they have a better eye for what people want to read, or when you're going to lose somebody. Who am I? People are going to read my book. What? You might read it, and a few people who know me, but if people are going to reach out to read the book out of curiosity, who cares really about my story? So, I mean, I give my story in the book about being a player, specifically about being an injured athlete. I talk about some bad stuff that happened to me when I was in high school, that have to do with one of the athletic directors who was a priest, and things I never spoke about before. It was bad, and shouldn't have happened. And of course, it wasn't anything sexual. But I think what I allude to in my book is I was so scared to say anything because of the stuff that happened to me between this athletic director and myself, that what if I was sexually abused back then? I was tough, but did he scare me to the point, because he threatened my scholarship. He was like, if he's like, if you do this and that, I'm going to take away your scholarship. I'm going to make sure you don't get your letters. I'm going to make sure this, that, and the other. So God, when I look back, I'm like, this guy, hopefully if he tried to sexually abuse me, I'd know to knock him out. But what if I didn't? Because I mean, the emotional and the mental abuse that he did to me. I mean, real quick, this guy would pull me out of class every day for about 6 months and tell me I was nothing. I didn't deserve this. Well, this is when I was a junior. I didn't deserve to score over the seniors because he had a favorite who was a senior, and I was starting to overshadow her, and he didn't like it. So I was like. So of course I didn't tell my father, because my father would have choked the guy, priest or not.
Right.
So anyway, so the book goes into that, but then it goes into like different stories of different athletes. I interviewed a few different athletes. I wish I could have got more, but a lot of athletes don't want to talk about it. Like I'm calling out Kenny Anderson, Kenny, Mr. Chibbs. I'm a little upset that you didn't come through for my interview for my book. I'm just saying. But some people don't want to speak about it. That's why my book's called, the psyche, the injured athlete, the unspoken truth. Some people don't want to speak about how much it hurt when you were injured and you changed your life, because, we all play ball and we have all these talents and skills. We want to keep playing. I kept playing, I went to Germany for a minute, and then when I came home, my mother's like, you're going to do something with yourself, or you're going to, so I was a probation officer in my first life for a while, but I never stopped the love for ball. So I just started coaching and doing stuff. And then I went from another sport to another sport.
Yeah, you coach multiple sports, I see. Volleyball, basketball, did a lot of things.
Yeah.
Was this something that you wanted to do, or you saw a need in that area that you feel like, I can help these kids in a different way?
I think I always loved working with kids. I think as a young age, I always wanted to be a teacher and a coach when I was young. I mean, I coached in high school. I've coached softball and basketball in high school. And then when I was even in college, I used to like volunteer and in, Junior Olympics and different things. I had my own AAU team. I think that I just wanted to help kids, and I love working with kids from the street because, I grew up with not too much, you know what I mean? And it was hard for me, I think, to work with kids who other than that, city kids. So I loved it because I felt like I contribute so much to them, and that I can teach them life skills that if their careers are ended or it doesn't take them where they want to go, there's other things that they want to do.
Right.
Because, obviously what happened to me, I mean, I was lost. I mean, I think anybody, if you love ball, you get this. You know what I mean? You put a ball in your hand,
Definitely.
I am so happy when there's a ball in my hand, or two places, a ball in my hand, or when I used to pitch, because I was a pitcher too. Those are the things I love the most. But when I have a ball in my hand, even now, like before COVID hit, I was playing on, almost 3 men's leagues. I was playing on Sunday morning pickup. I was playing 3 times a week in 2 men's leagues. I started playing out in Philly, which I was so happy about that, because it was I was playing out here with all, with a whole bunch of white guys, predominantly like Jewish white guys, and not to say anything wrong with it, but I was so used to always playing with all my black friends that
you was busting their ass and it was just too easy. Just tell it, Lauren, tell it. I needed to better run.
Let me say this. It was a little bit more of a quieter game. But the guys would try to hurt me too. Some of the guys, would they'd try to show me who they were. When I started playing in Philly, I feel like I got a little bit more respect from the guys in the city. I think they could tell that I balled and I could talk smack with the best of them. And it was,
That's right. That's right.
so, and I get into it. I mean, sometimes I forget I'm a woman and guys get stupid and, I almost want to go toe to toe, you know. And actually, it's a funny story. The first time, I never had like guys have to stand up to me when I balled before. And my boyfriend was playing the league with me just recently, right before COVID hit. And some guy set some really nasty screen on me, but it was in the backcourt, you know, where there was nobody playing at the time. He was just trying
Right.
to take me out. I
That's
probably
it.
I probably had 14 points already, on them because I was averaging between 14 and 16 in that league. So he came up and clocked me, and it just rattled me, and I lost it, and I went after him.
That's right, because he hit you in your back. Like that's that area.
Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? I went after him, and my boyfriend comes up. He's a big dude. He played football, and he's like, "Yo, that's my girlfriend." And I was like, I got so mad at him because I was like, it was so funny. I was like embarrassed because he was standing up for me, and all the guys on my team were like, "Law, your man is showing you respect. He's watching out for you." And I'm
That's
like, I've never had that before. I've had
salute
guys take
to
me out.
him.
I've
That's
had
real.
guys take me out at Hoffman Park. Take me out, undercut me because I used to clap the boards. And I had
All
don't get it
right, all right, all
twisted.
right, all right.
Just because I was 5'11" and I got a little of that, just because I have Italian in me doesn't mean I can't jump.
Clap, but
But
to hear somebody say I was clapping balls, that's like, that's
yeah.
classic right there.
And I get up, I clap the boards, and some guy just took me out because I kept taking them. And my cousin was with me, he lifted me up, and so when some big man picks me up, he's like, "Baby, you got a gash in your chin," he said to me. So I was like, my cousin takes his shirt off, and he's like, "Well, you got a hole in your chin." You can see when I smile, I still got like lines because I got this huge gash under my chin.
Wow.
So
That,
I came
that's
back to
classic.
talk afterwards because now I wanted to knock this guy out for taking me out. And all my boys were like, "Don't worry, he won't come back to the park anymore, Law."
Hey, they know. They know.
So
One time too many to have to lay some hands in.
yeah, so I played in Hoffman Park growing up. That's where I played in Queens. It's by Queens Center Mall. I
Okay,
played
okay, okay.
in Left Rack City, Lost Battalion Hall, and that's
Yeah.
I used to watch Kenny get trained over there. That's what I loved. That's how I got my handles, just from watching Kenny, actually.
Mm.
Kenny would have trainers, he'd have a ball in each hand. I don't think I could afford to have only one ball. I don't even know if I had a basketball. And
So,
Kenny,
hold on. Before you start, Lord, that's so important, right? Because I
yep,
was just talking to my
you
guy
got two
about this.
hands. You got to work them.
No, the fact that a lot of us ballers didn't own a fucking
Oh,
basketball.
I know. Yeah. I never brought one to the court. And let me tell you now, there's like 6 of them in my garage because we will always have a ball in my house. There may be
That's
10,
right.
but we're gonna have a ball. But yeah, we couldn't. And then my parents didn't really want me taking one to Hoffman Park because when my brother was growing up, he got robbed at knife point for his basketball.
Wow.
So yeah, so they didn't want me taking a ball, because especially being a female, especially in
Right.
Lost Battalion Hall, because I'd
Definitely.
go, like I said, I played Lost Battalion, I'd watch Kenny and they were training him and he was, whatever, and I was like, I'd absorb it. To this day, when I train my basketball players, I do so many of those drills just because I
Wow.
watched it. Because my dad, and I told you, my dad used to throw me into the garage and then say, Larry Bird can shoot with his left hand. You need to be able to shoot with your left hand. So and now when I dribble, I actually look like I'm a left dominant player because I always go to the left side first. It's just a natural instinct. And my right hand isn't as strong ball handling wise, even though I shoot with my right.
Laura, you know what we call that?
How do you know?
When you shoot with your right hand and you dribble to make your move with your left hand, that left hand is called the boogie hand. And we got that from Pearl. We got that from
Oh
Pearl
yeah, is that what he
Washington.
said?
Yeah. Pearl used to have the ball way out here, but he was right-handed, but kept the ball mostly in his left hand.
I got a picture with Pearl and Bernard King back in the day when they were Christ the King.
Yo,
Yeah.
can you send it? Can you send me that, Laura, please?
Yeah, I gotta
A
find it.
copy?
I will. I gotta find
Yeah,
it. Might be up
appreciate
in
that.
the. I got this like trunk full of stuff, but yeah, because things weren't digital back in the day.
Right. Just take a picture, boom. Any old
Yeah,
articles, please.
yeah.
That'd be
Oh,
good.
I have all that I got because I was thinking about putting them in my book, but when my publisher shot me down about putting them in my book, I was like, oh, all right, well, I guess I won't do that. Because I felt like if I was going to tell my story, at least I better prove that I did something. You know what you know what I
That's
mean?
right.
But
That's
it's
right.
okay because the book is really just trying to help athletes who get injured so they don't fall into a depression or anything like I did. I mean, I was messed up for a long time. It was hard. It was hard when I lost my basketball. So that's why now it means so much more. And even though I'm still competitive, like I said, it was a baseline jumper. That's what I took. Of course, I couldn't think of the word baseline. I don't know why my phone keeps just. Hold on a second, it's driving me nuts.
Uh-huh. Amazing story. Amazing story.
Good.
Yep, y'all, we still here. We good. Yep. Still good.
All right, yeah, I lost you on my.
Yeah, so finish up what you were saying. You remember what you were saying before that? Or you was wrapping that up? Because I want to get to the next question.
Yeah,
right?
Go ahead.
Because
I'm sorry.
when I'm having a lot of these interviews, I'm hearing from guys and even myself, we chose the wrong basketball school, right? We talk about choosing those schools. Do you have those discussions with your players or clients that you see about their situation at them, and are they happy in the situation that they're in?
When I was training a lot of high school athletes, we'd have that talk, and I always used to say something one of my coaches said to me a long time, and it's crazy because it happened. If he goes, if you were ever injured, there was two questions he asked. If you were ever injured, would you want to stay at that school? And you know what? I made a good choice. Do you want to be a big fish in a small pond?
Somebody just called you, right? Somebody just called you. Hold on. Somebody just called you, right?
What?
So you gotta let me see if. Hello?
Am I losing?
No, we good. No. Your voice that went out because I know somebody just called you.
All right, good. I'm like,
I've been working this. I can work it a little bit now, so I'm good. We good.
So those are the questions I ask, and I always try to tell them that just make sure it's somewhere you want to be. I think it's really important because nobody ever wants to think about their career ending, and I know that it sounds like a downer just to even bring it up. Nobody wants to talk about that, but the bottom line is you need to, because why are you going to school? Right, you're getting an opportunity that other players aren't going to get if you get to play, even if it's D3, D2, maybe your books are paid for. You're getting something. Make something out of it. And if you're going to get injured, do you still want to enjoy being in that state, being around the those players, being around the people, anything? You got to make sure you like it, because at the end of the day, when you're done, you still got you, and you got to figure out, am I comfortable with me where I'm going to be? So.
And I decided to stay. Those are the options I weighed before I made a strategic move to leave. But my mom was in having it anyway because she said, I sent you to get an education. I did hurt my knee the end of my sophomore year, like the middle of my sophomore year. And the whole system wasn't for me, but the school and what it done for me, education-wise and socially, was a good thing. So that was the plus that kind of overweighed the basketball situation. So and I had that sit down with my coach like you had with yours. I think kids or athletes, if they have something that's on their heart, you can always do it in a respectful way next time you see the person, to let them know your feelings while you were at that school and what you was going through.
Oh, I think it's important. I think it's very cathartic. I think that when you are an athlete and you're in it with your coaches, I don't think kids today, but I think when we were being brought up, there was so much respect, like, for your elders. So you don't question them, you don't ask them, you
Yeah.
don't say what you're feeling. Plus, you know, we were a little tough back then. You don't want to say, you don't really say what you're feeling, right? Now everybody just says whatever. My kids say anything, and you know, and I'm teaching them to speak up for themselves.
Right.
Back then, I didn't know how to tell my coach, no, I want to play Pac-10s. I don't care what the doctor says. Can we fight it? You know, and I think back then, I didn't have the confidence to, and I think and it wasn't because I didn't have the confidence. I think my confidence was stripped when I went through that situation at the high school. Because, you know, when someone's telling you almost every day you're nothing, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do that, and you get this fear inside of you. Maybe that's why I became so tenacious and I was a pressure cooker. You know, sometimes people can go the other way. They cower and step away from it. Maybe the only way I can look at it is when you ask me that question now in hindsight, maybe I internalized what that person did to me. And I was able to say, I want that ball. You know what I mean? No matter what, I'm going to show this. I always had that attitude when people try to this day, when people try to push me down, I'm going to show them that I can do it. Don't tell me that I can't. You know?
Wow. So, going through all the things that you went through, that made you go down the direction to get into like sports, fitness, and recreation.
Correct. My first thing was I was going to be a physical therapist, so I studied exercise science. And then I was in physical therapy too long for being injured, so I kind of shied away from that. And
Right.
I became a phys ed teacher. And then I went for my master's in administration for education and all that stuff in education. And then I also wanted to do something with athletes to help them in sports psychology. I want to help athletes with, I work with athletes like if they're injured or if they have anxiety before a game, I help them with, you know, mental imagery, all that kind of stuff. So I was able, the great thing about becoming a phys ed teacher and then a coach, I was able to put everything together. So it's real cool.
No, listen, you're definitely qualified to do this, overqualified, and even going through the experiences that you went through kind of will help you with the clients that you see, right? Because you learned from first-hand experiences some of the things that you went through, you can identify with that. So definitely, that's a good path that you're going down right now.
Yeah. Well, that's one of my, I mean, that's one of my businesses that I have. I mean, my main business is something a little different, but yeah, I mean,
Hustler. It's my main business is something else, but you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, I have my business Mind Over Body Athletics, and that's where,
yes.
you know, when I was training a lot of athletes and I was working with other athletes, and I still do, but it's on a more, you know, they have to be serious now. You know, when I was younger, I not that I don't enjoy it, but I have children now, so if I'm going to take the time to work with someone's child, it's because they really need it, and they're going somewhere, and it's not because the parents are pushing them to play or the parents feel they need it. It's because this child really wants to help. I have people who call me from all over the country, and I'll FaceTime with their child for sports psychology services.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and just give them some mental tools. I just give them some tools for their little mental toolbox. And it's not like a regular psychologist where people would see each other each week.
Right.
I work with them for a few weeks, and then they let me know if they have a competition. We talk about it. I'd see a video. I'd have the parents send me something. I could see when they had a mental breakdown sometimes, or where they broke down, and help them. And even when I train athletes, it was the same thing. I used to run a ton of basketball clinics back when I lived in Connecticut. And I miss that, but I don't have the connections out here in Philly like I had when I was in Connecticut or New York or even Arizona to have a gym and that kind of stuff. But no, I definitely still do it. But no, my meat and potatoes is predominantly my sport, fitness, and recreation, my experting work, where I'm an expert witness. So if like you see CSI when you go to court, and I testify in trial. So if somebody is injured or killed in a sporting event or fitness facility, attorneys will retain me to, write a report or go do a site inspection, like at a trampoline park or in a gym or a fitness facility. And so that's what I do now, besides being a professor for like a few universities and stuff.
Listen, are y'all hearing that? Are y'all hearing that, people? She's putting that education to work.
I'm a little bit of a believe me, my student loans will tell you that too. They're like a mortgage. But I I'm like a little bit of a workaholic. I think from losing my basketball career, I feel like I always had to fill a void. You know, now I'm going a little cuckoo because I can't play ball with this COVID. You can't play ball.
Right,
I
right.
gained like all this weight. My fat was all. I look fat in this video.
No, you don't. Not at all. Not at all. You
So,
good. You good.
you know, I hit the COVID almost 20 at this point. I'm like, man, I better get out and start playing. I'm gonna hurt something or somebody when I play. If I fall on somebody,
Wow. You know, I forgot to ask you a question, right? The James Major question, right? James Majors, who started at Bishop Loughlin, went to Seton Hall.
Okay.
He said when he was at Seton Hall, they got $5 for meal money, and they was playing in the Big East.
$5?
Thank you. Somebody. Yes, $5, Laura.
Let me think. Hold on, I gotta think. In the early 90s, that might be accurate.
No, it can't be accurate, Laura. I'm telling you, I was at Fairleigh Dickinson. There's no way that Fairleigh Dickinson basketball. Excuse me?
Didn't you get a loot check? We got a loot check. So.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about when you go on a trip with your basketball team.
Yeah.
And they give you meal money. It's called meal money.
No, you're right. You know what? I think is accurate. I don't remember getting more than $5 for meal money. And you know, you gotta remember we were females. It's not like it is now.
Yeah, okay, true. But I'm hearing a lot of guys saying $5, $15. Listen, Laura, we go on a road trip.
Had a bump back in the day.
We take a road trip somewhere and we get on a plane, it's at least $350 in the envelope. And this is all legal, like, because this is part of the budget. My coach explained the whole thing to us about college basketball. Okay, let me give you an example. If Arizona State wants to play Fairleigh Dickinson, which is a smaller Division I school, right? Arizona will write out a check to Fairleigh Dickinson and pay them for travel expenses. Yes.
Oh my
God. The school gets some money. Now, check this out, Laura. If Arizona State loses, they're upset. That's where the word upset comes from.
Get out of here.
There's no upset in pro sports.
Wow, that's interesting.
My coach taught me that it had to be 1989, 90. Because we were playing Wake Forest. And he was so giddy. And I'm like, Coach, you're in a good mood. He was like, yes, Harley, because we just got an $80,000 check from Wake Forest.
What?
I said, what do you mean? He said,
heard of that. Now I gotta find it. I wish when I interviewed Bobby Hurley, I asked him that question.
listen, this is about to get deep, right? Because my coach told me at that time, I was in his office, and broke down like the business of college basketball. He said, remember, Hardy, we told her this is a business as well. This is part of the business.
That's true.
Right? And we don't realize that. So that's happening right in front of our face. So before my coach got to my school, he was at Syracuse with Jim Boeheim, and they went to the Final Four with Roy Danforth.
That's a whole different story.
Listen, and I'm going to move on. After Roy Danforth left Syracuse, he went down to Tulane. At Tulane, they coached a player by the name of John Hot Rod Williams. John Hot Rod Williams was given $30,000 in the shoebox, and it destroyed Tulane's basketball team. They didn't have basketball for like another 10 years after that. My coach and Roy Danforth left Tulane, came up east to Fairleigh Dickinson, and nobody ever said anything. And John Harbaugh Williams, he got to play in the pros. He became an all-star, but the school was damaged for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know how Syracuse has gotten away with some of the stuff they did. I mean, that
Yo, trust me. Yo, listen, I know. Rob Johnson was one of their aces. And everyone says PJ.
I was giving out envelopes.
See? Laura, Laura, you are a legend.
Hang out. Rad's like, come on, Lou, we gotta go meet Rob. Let's go I'm gonna take you to dinner. And we go meet Rob, and then me and Rad will go out. He's like, you wanna buy? I'll buy you something. He always got me all this Syracuse jackets and stuff.
Real talk. And I remember being in when Rad signed with Syracuse. We was up at Empire State at the time. I was playing on the open team.
Were you playing with E. Brown?
Yes, I was on that team.
I was up there.
Yes. I was on the team with Derek Chivas, Eric Brown, Boo Harvey, Ross Strickland. I was the youngest guy on the team. I was going to be a freshman at Felix Dickinson after that summer was over.
Was that 88?
88, 89, yeah. I was going to ask you that. Well, one of my questions was, did you play Empire State?
I did, and I was up there. I was hanging out with, well, let's see, who was playing younger than you? Carl Beckett.
Yeah.
Kenny
was on that team, yeah.
Kenny, Kenny introduced me to Rad, and then I was hanging out, and I was friends with Carl, because Carl and I went to Christ King together.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and then I'm trying to think who else. And then, Eric and I were really tight. I'm cool. I'm so cool, Eric. That's my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you know who I reached out to?
Are you still in contact with Eric Brown?
Oh, yeah. He's a cop out in Miami.
I heard about that. I need to speak to my guy. If you speak to him.
Facebook.
Huh?
Hook up with him on Facebook. He's on Facebook.
Got you.
Yeah. Yeah, because I asked a few guys to interview them for my book, and he didn't really respond to it, so I left him alone because I'm impressed with anybody. So I was coaching Shamika Holzclaw in AAUs. I was assistant coach for AAUs that Shamika was playing, and we were out in Miami, and we went to one of the dads was like, come on, with his daughter. He was taking us to see an exhibition game for the Heat. So we're sitting like up in front. And he's taking layups as E. Brown. And I'm like, no, he's not. So, like the lunatic I am, I go screaming, running. I'm on a camp.
He played for the Heat when the Heat first started?
Yeah, I don't know if he played a full season or what, but he was in the exhibition game.
Wow.
I'm like, because I always jump at everybody when I see them. I'm like, what's up? And he jumped right out of the line and gave me a big hug. I'm so happy to see Eric. He's like, you wait for me after the game, So I got those pictures too. I gotta find them. I got pictures of Kenny. Oh God, I don't remember who Kenny's girl was back in it. Renee, his girlfriend in high school. He was with for a long time. I have pictures of Kenny and her. Oh my God, I'll have to look and I'll have to.
Please. And when you find your articles, send them, and I'll do a day just of Laura Miele. You'll have your own day.
That's scary.
We'll do that.
That's funny. I think it's not a big deal to me. I think because in my eyes, because I got injured, I didn't make it where I wanted to. You know what I mean? But I guess when I look back, growing up in New York and being something in the city where you become one of the number one players and stuff, it's really not something to frown upon either. I guess
It's 10 million people here, Laura. 10 million, almost 12 million, easy. Yeah. That's probably not counted. And not many get to experience what we get to experience.
That's the truth. I mean, basketball is a vehicle to so many different things.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the 6 degrees of separation just from me talking to you through Pat.
Yeah.
I mean, I hung out with Pat and the boys back in the day, and then they all came out to Arizona, and we were watching Stephon play ball. So they hooked me up, and we'd have, the 8th row, and I'd be hanging out with all the guys. And they were like, Laura, bring your girls, and we'd all hang. It was really cool, So, I mean, just all of that stuff that sports has brought, especially basketball, has brought to all of our lives, and just how we met and how, I mean, it's just so cool. So I guess, yes, that's something you can't, bat an eye at, I guess.
Listen, I interviewed Ross Strickland the other day, and to hear him say playing in New York made him who he was, right? So by the time he got outside the country playing against guys, it wasn't that hard because of what he was going through in New York City. Now, he could have easily said, man, I played against everybody around the country. No, he was like, yo, bro, I ain't giving that up to guys. The Silk, the Spice, the John Johnsons, the James Majors, all those guys, he just like, yo, Joe Jackson, like just giving it up, saying these guys are the guys who kind of shape who I became.
Well, you know what? You grew up playing ball in New York. You can play anywhere, and I totally agree with that. I mean, I wouldn't be able to go just walk on a court now like I do and have the guts to do that, or go on and just play. I mean, like I do out here, like I joined that Philly league. At first, some of the guys were like, "Oh, War's gonna be able to hang on that league." Some of the guys from that other league I was in were talking smack. "Oh, War's gonna be able to hang on the league." I did better in that league than I did in their league. Lots of those guys are trying to beat me up. In this league, I got
and now the guys are letting you live, and they so much better. Crazy.
It was cool. Now they were recruiting me right before. They're like, "More, you're gonna play with me this time. You're gonna play with me." So it was kind of exciting because I was like, "Oh, now I can kind of pick and choose," and they let me run the point too because I wasn't a point guard, but I'm now a point guard. I mean, I always played point, but I never played in college. That would be my thing. I was a shooting guard.
Gotcha.
Free swing, but now I'd rather hook everybody up with the ball and shoot when I need to, that kind of thing. But the thing is, these guys just kept hooking me up with the ball and setting screens. So that was fun.
Listen, you done scored enough points and hit enough buzzer beaters that you ready to give it up now.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
You know what it is? You get to a point in your life where you have nothing to prove.
Yes.
And I think after I got injured, I felt like I had something to prove. So I kept playing, and I proved to myself I could still do it. I proved that, like I told you, I played tackle football. I was a tight end for 2 years for semi-pro. Then I was a Golden Gloves boxer in New York when I was 32 years old. At Lost Battalion Hall, I went back to play ball, ended up boxing out of Lost Battalion Hall. I was 32 years old fighting against 18, 19-year-old and boys too, because I had no one to spar with. These guys would beat the cuck out of me, man. But, I think, like you said, just growing up playing ball, doing all the things that we did just made you strong. It takes a lot to walk on a court and play ball in the city with a whole bunch of guys you don't know as a guy. So as a female to walk on, and I'm like, who's got next? You know what I mean? They're like, not you. I'm like, oh no, it's me. You know what I mean? Don't tell me I don't have next. So you have to fight for that. And as a female playing men's basketball, I always have to prove myself. Even now, if I start playing again, I gotta prove. But even though I feel like I have nothing to prove, when I get on the court, I have to show my stuff, and then I'm cool with that. I don't have to score those points. I go in.
No, you listen. I can ball. Trust me, I did at the highest level. Let me show you guys. Then you kind of fall back.
Yeah, because then some of these guys try to coach me. I'm like, did you even play middle school? Really? You didn't play junior high, and you're telling me how I should be playing?
Right.
Passing the ball and playing? You must be crazy.
Right, and be like, yo, homie, you only played in the gym with 20 people. You know how many people I played in front of? Chill out. Calm it down just a little bit.
I like seeing a guy just walk into the park and go play ball somewhere. You let me know if you haven't done that, I don't think some of these guys can't just walk into the cage and play. Because not anybody can walk into the cage and play ball.
Listen, it was the time when I played against Anthony Mason that let me know you still got it and you can play against a pro and do well. After that game, I kind of stopped playing basketball.
What year did you hurt your knee? When did you hurt your knee?
1988.
Oh, so you hurt your freshman year or before your freshman year?
It was 88, 89 in between my freshman and sophomore year.
Empire State, your freshman,
Yeah.
Beginning. It's horrible, man. I should have interviewed you.
Yeah, look. I share a lot of the same stories. I hear people say, I went through that. But I'm at peace with myself for the basketball and the mental aspect and some of the disdain I have for my coach. Because we had a friend of mine's teammate gave a barbecue and he invited my coach. We're sitting down, have a lovely time. I really got to know my coach in the 2 hours that I was having, dinner with him. And I told him, I said, it's so crazy that I got to know you in 2 hours more than I got to know you in 4 years of being with you.
Well, I think as a player, it's a whole different dynamic. And you're not going to say the same stuff then Because they made, you know what I mean?
Well, I wasn't a guy that kind of hold my tongue. I never was disrespectful. I kind of was made captain my sophomore year because I made everybody leave practice because what he was doing, and I didn't think his tactics was working. So now I was always able to speak my mind. But back then, I didn't want to come off as hate and fiery, right?
Yeah, sure, sure.
I was a little younger back then. So as I became older, I'm cool with myself now, right?
I got more fiery as I got older.
You know, so in discussing it with him, it went well. But what I'm gonna do, Laura, I'm gonna come back because it's running out. I'm gonna show you a new art piece. I think you're gonna like this one.
Oh, nice. Let's see.
Yes.
He's so fast at that back there. He just rolls.
Oh, he's the best. Trust me.
So what
so
I'll
we're
do
gonna
is
come back.
I'll send you all that stuff. And I want to know, Steven.
Queens, we used to go out there and play with my guy Rebel and play all over Queens, man. Yes, Rev is my guy. Definitely, I'm gonna let him know you said what's up.
Yeah, you gotta tell him. You gotta tell him because
definitely. He don't do social media. I've been trying to get Rebel on here. Every time I try to get him on here, he send me somebody else's number. All right, go ahead, get them on.
Always low key, always so smooth.
Yes.
Low key, yeah.
Yes. I told him right now, you know, and it's not to knock Tom Kachowski did a great job, but for somebody who's been around, Rebel's been around a long time.
Oh yeah.
And he can easily step into that position because there's not gonna be any more Tom Kachowski. Hey, how you doing?
Well, you know, Tom Konchowski, I told you he grew up on my street.
Really? No, you never told me that.
Oh, yeah. Tom Konchowski lived right up my street, right next to the church that I grew up at. Yeah, I went to Ascension Grade School. He lived 3 doors down. Oh, yeah. He used to help me and give me advice on colleges and stuff like that, too. Oh, yeah. Funny story. I ran into him. My girls were babies. They must have been like 3 and 1 or something like that. And he's like, oh, what are their names? I'm like, oh, Madison and Taylor. He goes, what kind of yuppie names are that?
Yuppie names! Oh, wow, that's crazy.
I love Tom. Oh, what a good man. Yeah.
Right? He shook your hand firm, make eye contact. He don't care who you was. He knew your name, what school you went to.
Yep.
And what college? And if you played in New York City, he knew all about you. So that was always great to see.
Well, he was always, you know, he always was with boys. But when it came to me, because he was my neighbor, he was always like looking out for me. He saw me that time I had all the ASU gear. I had just got back from BCI's. And I was walking down toward Hoffman Park, probably going to play ball. Because he'd go down to the park, too. Because I had mentioned to you, I played citywide. I was I was the only girl in citywide in high school.
Wow, that's right. That's right.
I agreed I was the only girl, so he'd go down, I think, and check out the players. And Kenny was playing a lot, you know. And he was like, "You got all that Arizona State gear, huh?" I go, "Yeah, that's where I want to go." So I don't think he was too fond of me going to Arizona State, only because they weren't.
Did he say something like, "You shouldn't go there"? Did he?
He didn't say it to me. He's like, you're looking at other schools, though, right? You know, that kind of thing, like that. Because I don't think he knew it wasn't huge, but he knew more about the guys' stuff. So
got you.
State was a mess. The women's team wasn't that strong, but it was Pac-10. Pac-10 was strong. So
yes.
I felt like if I was really going to get noticed, because I had a different style of ball compared to the Pac-10, like the different players, because a lot of the girls were predominantly from that side of the world, you know, that side
right.
of the world, that I would stand out, and that's what I was looking to do.
Wow. So when is the first annual basketball jam? Love to meet all the interviews. Well, listen, Laurel Hendricks, I'm going to put this out there because Laurel was the first person to bring this up to me when I started a long time ago. He said, yo, G, we should have a BasketballHeadzz picnic, right? And, you know, sometime in the future where we can see people availability and get as many people together as we can so we can meet, share stories, you know, and make it something that, you know, we give out awards and things of that nature. And I was like, wow. And then my sponsor at Game Over, who has a gym. He has like a place in the back where there are courts and places you can barbecue at. So everybody was just all in. So Ballhead, you're on point with saying that.
I like that.
He called it a BasketballHeadzz jam.
Be fun. Now I gotta go crazy looking for you. I'm gonna be up in my attic tomorrow, going through my hope chest, trying to find.
Please, and send me some stuff, Laura. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I definitely will. Oh my God, I got signed up.
Hey, Mike, you could be on that committee, Mike, because you're definitely a basketball head, man. Yeah. So Laura, I want to keep you. I know your brain been working all day. Did you get a chance to see a picture?
No, I haven't. He's still.
Yo, can I show a little bit? All right, he not really feeling me on doing that, but it's all good. We're gonna do it.
Don't do that to him.
Nah. We're gonna do it.
Ah, look at that. Yeah, that's much better, man.
That was the Everlast picture, right? The serious look was the Everlast.
I got to beat somebody up in that picture for sure. I like that. Ooh, that one's cool. I like that.
And that's a younger you.
Oh, God. Oh.
So you're going to have two pictures. You can hang them up, do what you want. When you get them, I just ask that you make the video, shout us out and give us some love. I appreciate it.
Oh, no, definitely.
Definitely.
I appreciate
all right, so, and when the book is ready, I'll send you my information so you can, we can promote that, right?
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for having me again. It was awesome. I just we got to talk a little bit more about different things. I don't think we covered the other stuff we covered before.
No, I try to do a little different this time, all right? So you don't see like you're saying the same thing over and over.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was, but you brought up Rebel. I'm like, oh man, running Rebels. So you better tell me.
I'm definitely gonna let them know that I had you on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, were you in that picture? It's a picture with Khalil Reed, Derek Phelps, and 3 female players from Christ the King. Are you in that picture?
In the newspaper or no?
No, there's a picture I posted. It just had Khalil Reeves and Derek Phelps, but also there's 3 girls in that picture that's not shown. I'm gonna send it to you because Rebel sent it to me. I don't know who the girls are.
Yeah, well, it might be. I mean, they're a year younger than me, so if it was a picture with their same age, then no. But it might be because I used to hang out with Late all the time. Me and my girl Heather. When we played at Christ the King. But I post because you're not on Facebook. You see, I post those old school pictures all the time.
I don't scroll out on Facebook, so I don't really see those things.
Can you get message on not Instagram? Can you get message on the BasketballHeadzz on Facebook or no? Can you get messages?
I don't have instant message on there. I gotta get open, but no. I know I gotta get it open there. It's just so many apps on my phone, and when I'm doing this, right, even this live, when I put up a show or I post something, it takes up a lot of space on my phone.
Yeah.
Right. So it's just I have 2 phones.
You need to get your sponsor to get you a nice computer or like a Mac Pro with like all these terabyte.
Oh yeah, I'm staring at my Mac right now. So now what you said, so that way I could do my Instagram off my computer. That's what you said.
Yeah, well, yeah, can't you get them? That's what I'm saying. Can't you get the stuff off your computer or no? Like, so how can I send? So you want me to send it through Instagram to you? Is that what you want?
And I'll get it quicker.
Okay. All right. Well, if you have an email,
I'll send my email.
You can send your email to me, and then I can do that too, just in case,
Yeah, I'll definitely send my email, and I'll check it all the time. So that works as well.
Yeah, that will work. Because then I'll look. I know I have quite a few stuff. I even have some of the guy stuff that I saved.
Yes, please.
Me and Rad were being, then Carl Beckett, Jamal Faulkner, because I played ball with Jamal, and I
right.
Paid as well. So I have all of those paper clippings because they're my boys. I cut them too. Yeah, so. Because I'd be on one page, they'd be on the other, athlete of the week.
Oh, I got to save that. And I realized, looking back on an article that I saved that there were other write-ups on there as well that I never looked at up until now. And I was like, wow, these guys was putting some numbers. I remember this guy.
Flip the page, you might see me on the page behind you.
Yeah, fact. They're very true. Very true. Yeah. So, Laura, let me let you go. Get out of here.
Thanks so much.
Remember, when that book drop, come back again, show people the cover, what it looks like, so we can get this book out there and get it promoted.
Yeah, because you know what? What I want to do is I was telling my friends on Facebook, too, that I want to try to have a day that if anybody's interested in buying it, because I don't want to make people buy my book, but if people are interested, I'm going to say on this day, please buy it on this day. Because if everybody's if I have a big volume that day, then I can get that.
Send it to me. I'll post it on my page. Make sure my partners post it on their page and we can help you promote it.
Cool. I want to get that volume that day and become the.
Listen, I'm saying it again. We shoot for #1.
Amazon bestsellers list.
That's right. All right. Salute, homie.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Going to read an excerpt from Dr. Laura Miele's book, Psyche of the Injured Athlete. Check it out. For me, playing basketball was such a euphoric feeling. It fueled my inner fire. It took me to a happy place. No one could stop me or my desires to be the best. When it abruptly ended, I felt lost and alone. Who was I if I could not play ball? That's real. Make sure you support the good doctor and our own New York City legend, Laura Miele. Peace.